Today, we are going to England. So in this video, we are going to explore the history, government style, the culture and tradition, as well as the linguistic affiliation of the United Kingdom, especially in England. First step is the history of England. First is that the Romans dominated Britain for almost 400 years. They defended the Britain over the Scot Picts and the Anglo-Saxons. However, in the year 410 Anno Domini, these Romanians left Britain. From that point onwards, Britain is widely open from invaders and become their easy target. These invaders are commonly known as the Germanic tribe. There are three main Germanic tribes who succeeded to invade Britain. They referred to as the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes, but they were commonly known to be the Anglo-Saxon. These Anglo-Saxons had originally lived in the mainland of Europe. Most of the Germanic tribe were looking somewhere to live due to the weather conditions and flood, resulting to a shortage of food production as well as other agricultural stuff. And then these Nordic tribes, just like the Huns, are coming from the east, equipped with heightened bloodlust and terror. Thus, these Anglo-Saxon choose their new home, and it decided that they went and settled to Britannia. Since Britannia had no Roman army to conquer, and Britain is gifted with rich and fertile land, as well as it is safer than in Europe, these Anglo-Saxons started to invade the Britain. First, Anglo-Saxons sent Scots Picts to the north and Britons to the west coast of Britain. They have successfully invaded and conquered Britain and established the five main kingdoms, and these are the Northumbria, the East Anglia, the Kent, the Mercia, and the Wessex. And they called the conquered land as England, which means the Angle land.
Cultures and traditions in England.
Traditions in England have been around in centuries. British traditions is famous worldwide. When one thinks British, you imagine people drinking tea, wearing bowling hot, and gorging on fish and chips. Sports, food, and music is tightly knit traditions in England. Have you ever imagined a guy planning to destroy a parliament but failed to do it? And that failure is being celebrated by many people.
The Guy Fawkes Night. Guy Fawkes Night is celebrated on the 5th of November each year. Guy Fawkes was the mastermind of the gunpowder plot in 1605, which failed when he attempted to destroy the House of Parliament. This night tradition, celebrated famously in East Sussex and Lewes, commemorates this fail by having fireworks displays, bonfires, torchlights, processions, and pagan rituals.
Next is the Poppy Day or the Remembrance Day. In England, you may see people walking around wearing red poppies.
Poppy is like a red flower. It's made from paper, and it's celebrated every 11th of November to commemorate and remember the people that died fighting in World War I and all the wars after that.
Next is the Boxing Day.
Boxing Day is the day after Christmas and almost like an extension of the main holiday. People spend time with their families and loved ones as many are tired and are off from work. Typically, traditions include watching sports, playing games, hunting, going for walks, and eating Christmas leftovers.
That's just the few traditions and culture in England.
going to talk about the religion and language of England.
Religion in England.
England's religion. So England's population is made up of 71.75% Christians and 22.52% is unidentified or non-religious people. So Muslims are another religious minority contributing over 3% of the population. So there are also Jewish, Hindu, and Sikh minorities. So Christians is the official religions of England.
Language in England.
English is the de facto national language of the United Kingdom, which means that there is no law establishing it as the official language. It is used in every official capacity, simply because the majority of our country speaks the language. Geographically, English is spoken almost everywhere in United Kingdom, but it is most common in England. That's all for today, everyone. Thank you for listening. Government of England. England has no formal form of government, but they are under the rule of United Kingdom, and United Kingdom is a constitutional form of monarchy. In a constitutional monarchy, the Queen is the head of the state but does not make any political decision. In layman's term, she is the representative of the country, but she is not the head of the government. In a constitutional monarchy, the head of the government is called the Prime Minister. In England, all political decisions are taken by the government in Parliament. Parliament is made up of three central components: the House of Commons, House of Lords, and the monarchy. The House of Commons are the elected part of the Parliament. It debates issues, proposes laws, and challenges the government's works. There are 650 members of the Parliament who represents the constituency in UK and are elected by the public in a general election to represent them and their concerns. The House of Lords is the second chamber. They are the in charge in making and shaping of laws with the House of Commons. It has around 800 members with different professions selected by the Queen but as advised by the Minister. The monarch's role is mainly ceremonial. They meet the Prime Minister once a week to talk about what's going on in the Parliament. And that's how the constitutional monarchy in England works.
Good day, my name is Abilino Magbuya and I will discuss to you what kind of military in England. The British Army is the principal land warfare force of the United Kingdom. A part of the British Armed Forces along with the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force. As of 2021, the British Army comprises of 82,230 regular full-time personnel and 30,030 reserve personnel. And the Commander-in-Chief of the British Army is Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of the Commonwealth, or the 16th country. The term British Army was adopted in 1707. After the Act of Union between England and Scotland, members of the British Army swear allegiance to the monarch as their commander-in-chief. But the Bill of Rights of 1689 requires parliamentary consent for the Crown to maintain a peacetime standing army. Therefore, Parliament approved the army by passing an Armed Force Act at least once every 5 years. The army is administered by the Ministry of Defense and commanded by the Chief of General Staff. That's all. Thank you.
Ngayon naman ay dumako tayo sa citizens, population, and economy of England. People living in England are called British people or Briton. The population na resident na itala ngayong 2021 sa England ay umabot ng 68,207,116 people. The economy in England is the largest of the 4 countries in the United Kingdom, which includes Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. with an average gross domestic product per capita of 28,100 pounds or 36,000 US dollars. If England were an independent sovereign state, its economy would be the 7th or 8th largest in the world. It is a highly industrialized country and important producer of textiles and chemical products in the United Kingdom. Fun fact about England. Did you know that it is an offense to stick a postage stamp to an envelope upside down? According to the Treason Felony Act of 1848, this is the treason as most British postage stamps comprises the Queen's head.
Hi, mabuhay! I'm Oliana May Pasha Giza, and today we will travel to some of the tourist spots in England.
One of the most popular travel destinations in the world is England. It offers almost endless possibilities for vacationers seeking for fun things to do and top attractions to visit. With its gorgeous landscapes, dazzling megacities, cute towns, and lots of history.
And one of the most beautiful places to visit in England is the Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a hugely important Neolithic site near Salisbury and is one of England's most popular tourist attractions. It is also one of the most era-defining prehistoric sites in Europe and one of the new 7 wonders of the world. So Stonehenge is one of the most must-see places to visit in England. Second tourist attractions in England is the Eden Project. The incredible Eden Project is a collection of unique artificial biomes containing an amazing collection of plants around the world. Eden Project is located in a reclaimed quarry in Cornwall. This spectacular botanical garden complex consists of huge domes that looks like a massive igloo-shaped greenhouses. And their last destination for the day is the Cornwall in the southern England. With its landscapes that encompasses over 300 miles of coastline, dramatic cliffs, beautiful beaches, medieval harbors, and vast stretches of moors, Cornwall really is a destination that appeals to everybody.